Hi guys, I'm Honey Moth Tarot and today I'm going to be asking your spiritual guides what you need to know. So specifically this is going to be a pick-a-pile reading. As usual we have pile 1 with blue lace agate. We have pile 2 with the carnelian heart. And then we have pile 3 with clear quartz. So feel free to pause the video, kind of meditate on whichever card or cards you feel drawn towards. And it doesn't really matter if you feel drawn to cards or crystals or both. Just whatever feels intuitively right for you. And I will see you soon. Hi pile 1. So you guys chose the blue lace agate, which is really good for the throat chakra, communicating. And the reason that I chose this crystal specifically was because card 1 is the dragon guide, and this is all about kind of communicating your wants and needs and kind of prioritizing yourself over other people's opinions. And sometimes, you know, in order to stand up for yourself, you do have to kind of embody a sort of dragon persona of, you know, communicating a little bit fiercely. So perhaps there's something that you guys need to communicate with others, or maybe people are kind of giving you unsolicited advice, opinions. But yeah, without further ado, we'll get into the reading, see what your guides want you to know. So what does pile 1's guide need to know? Or rather, what does pile 1's guide want them to know? Take this one. So immediately I am kind of noticing like the dragon on this card. So I feel like that may be kind of like a spiritual symbolism for you at the moment. So it may be worth kind of looking at dragon symbolism. I do feel though that there is something about the way in which you talk about certain things, possibly yourself, is negatively affirming something. So kind of what I mean by that is like, I don't know, if you are kind of, for just as an example, constantly like, oh, I'm really unhappy, I'm constantly like down, everything's going wrong. And I'm not telling you to like completely deny the reality of a situation, but I do feel like words are spells, and if we do kind of constantly affirm that we are unhappy without trying to change our perspective or kind of find some sort of gratitude, you know, that unhappiness is all that we're going to see because we're constantly looking for it. And you guys did get the 6 of Cups. So I did get the word greed. I don't know why. Perhaps there is a lot of self-esteem and self-worth tied to how much money you earn. And so maybe you are continuously affirming that you're not wealthy, or that your income isn't isn't enough. And so of course, like, I feel if you are constantly telling yourself that, then that is all your kind of reality is going to be capable of perceiving. Okay, so what else does pile one? Thank you. So you guys did get the wisdom card. And he is kind of shining this lantern towards this cave. And it kind of is like reminding me of like a dragon inside a cave. Of like delving into the darkest parts of ourselves, the shadow parts of ourselves that I would say needs to be addressed for the wisdom card to come out, because, you know, this lantern is like shining light on what is unseen or some sort of like subconscious kind of belief. And I feel like there is kind of a fear of standing up for yourself, or you kind of have like a lot of trouble with that. And perhaps it's kind of been like a running theme throughout your life. And so I think your guide or guides is asking you to embrace the ferocity of this dragon guide. I feel like maybe this kind of comes up in a way of somebody stealing something of yours without, I was going to say without asking, but that literally is like theft, right? Even though someone could be like, well, oh, I was going to give it back, it's still kind of, you know, you ask first, right? Or someone's like taking advantage of this kind nature, of the fact that you don't stand up for yourself. Which, you know, people do that, unfortunately. Yeah, I keep getting the phrase that you're too nice. Which is a shame, right? Because we do try to be like good people. But I think, as I said, like people can take advantage of that. Okay. So how do they kind of work through this? Because I know that it is difficult to stand up for yourself without feeling like a bad person, or feeling worried about confrontation, fear of upsetting others. But I think, I don't know, it's something that needs to be addressed. So we do have the Mother card, so Could be your mother or like an older woman that is kind of taking advantage of you. Which I do get that sometimes that can happen within like that family dynamic, right? They kind of, because they're related to you by blood, they just sort of expect you to kind of drop everything, even your own boundaries. But, you know, regardless of how close you are with someone, I do think that some sort of boundary needs to be put in place. I do also think that this is about self-worth. And I think the sooner that you... I don't know how to put this in a non-blunt way, so please forgive me, and I don't mean to offend anyone. But the sooner that you stop allowing people to treat you like shit, I think that's when you're going to realise that you deserve better, right? And obviously I know like people's situations are different. But I think with certain situations, if we are constantly giving to people that we know constantly take advantage of us, it kind of becomes like, I don't know, not that we're complicit, but, you know, kind of veering on the edge. Again, I don't really know how to put it in a nice way. I am also looking at this tortoise here, like he's really standing out to me for some reason. Having like a harder shell, I think. Not to the point where you're kind of completely void of emotion, but just more of protecting yourself by putting up these boundaries. We have the child card. So yeah, I do feel like this could be like a family member. I'm also getting cousin as well. Sibling. That's cool. We have like a little dragon on the platform there. Standing on the shoulders of giants is what I heard. I feel like through putting up these boundaries, it is going to heal some sort of inner child trauma, I think. Because I think in order for it to be in line with the Six of Cups, I think there's just something about you that naturally wants to give to other people, which is like a great quality to have, but I do think sometimes we do need to be selfish. And I do think that the word selfish can have like a very negative connotation, but you know, I think you need to put yourself first. We did go this. So we have 2 4s, so the number 4 may be significant for you. Okay, so I feel like once you start kind of prioritizing yourself and your self-worth, I think there are going to be people that kind of are taken aback by this new you. And I think it is going to cause you to question your sense of self. I think it may even make you question like who you are if you're not giving to other people. But yeah, I think this is definitely a time for reflection. And I do also feel like there's this kind of like dichotomy within you. Of like being happy giving to people and of being service to others. But I do think that there is like that part of you that knows that it's not sustainable to keep prioritizing others when your own cup is running empty. Okay. I'm going to get you guys an affirmation card. Feel free to use the affirmation or not. It's completely up to you. Oh, okay. Thank you. So we have, allow yourself to receive the blessing of your life. Spirit calls for you to surrender. So yeah, I feel as though there is a theme of giving and receiving throughout this reading. And as I said, you may be kind of like a natural giver, but I think now is your time to receive, especially the love from yourself of, you know, prioritizing your own life. And then I also want to get you guys a Moonology card. You guys got 2, so we'll take them. So we have a personal issue reaches resolution, full moon in Cancer, which again is very interesting because Cancer energy, in terms of astrology, is all about family and home life. So I do definitely feel like there are some sort of boundaries that need to be addressed within your home life or family circle. And then we have, you're very close to achieving your goal. So I feel as though you kind of felt that this has been an issue for like a while. And I think now it's kind of bubbling up to the point where I feel like you can't really hold back. And so I think one way or another you are going to be communicating. Whatever boundaries need to be set. Alright, pile one. Thank you for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye. Hi, pile two. So you guys chose Carnelian, which is really good for strength, courage, confidence, and empowerment. And the reason that I chose this is because card 2, the Lion Guide, is specifically about kind of having the courage and the strength to pursue whatever path that you're on. So yeah, I just feel like those energies are kind of something that you guys are kind of being asked to incorporate more in your life or kind of embody a bit more. Also, the number 3 may be significant for you. But yeah, let's get into it. So, what does pile 2 need to know from their guide or guides at this time? Feeling those for whatever reason. So I feel as though there is like some sort of situation where you've kind of gotten everything that you can get from it, and you're kind of feeling called to move elsewhere, whether that means like physically moving, but yeah, I feel as though there is like a gratitude for whatever this situation, job, relationship has given you. And I think it's made you like really grow as a person. But I feel like you are kind of feeling, I don't know, like an intuitive nudge to progress onto something new. Just move these up a little bit. There we go. I'll take the choice card. But yeah, I feel as though with the choice cards come out, there are a lot of opportunities and decisions that need to be made. But I feel like stagnancy or indecision isn't going to be helpful for you at this time, is the feeling that I'm getting. But I do also want to say that choosing to stay where you are or be in a place of indecision is also a choice. I think maybe there is fear that you'll make the wrong choice, and so that's what's keeping you stuck, because there's like a comfort here. I am feeling very drawn to this, like, waterfall here, which I'm getting as like a trickle down effect of, like, as soon as you make the jump, or as soon as you make the decision to move or take action, that's kind of when it kind of has a domino effect and a lot of stuff starts happening. Like, it's kind of, you almost go from like stagnancy to yeah, like movement after movement. But yeah, I do feel like there's some sort of restriction or like a suffocation almost, because we have like these snakes around her wrist and then this snake like kind of coiling itself around this tree. And I just feel like it's gripping tighter and tighter. Almost like the more that you kind of try to stay in this situation, the more that you cling on to it, the more that you feel the need to let go. I'm going to take that, but I will take this. So we have the perception card. And this usually kind of pops out when some sort of perspective of a situation needs to be looked at in a different way. And there is kind of like a sternness to this figure. So yeah, I feel like the reason that you may not be moving, or you're kind of fearful to leave this situation, is like, I'm getting almost kind of like a fear of being told off or like scolded as a child, or like doing something wrong. So perhaps there is something about your past, like your childhood upbringing, that is kind of causing this kind of anxiety when it comes to making decisions. But I feel like if you never try, you never know, right? You may also be like working with or being guided by Archangel Michael at this time, because I am noticing like swords kind of cropping up, and I do know that that's one of his symbols. Anything else for pile 2? Pile 2. Oh, I'll take this one. So we have the 2 of fire and the 3 of fire. So I feel as though you guys are definitely at the kind of beginning stage of thinking about moving, not necessarily taking action. but at least that kind of desire for change or something different is sort of blooming within you. I feel with this card that you're kind of like intertwined with someone or something, like there's an attachment there. Like the comfort. And so that's like another reason on top of what I've already said that's kind of, you know, stopping you from moving. I'm seeing as well how they have like masks as well. So perhaps there's like something that you don't know about this situation, or something that's being hidden. But all will come to light, is what I heard. Which definitely makes sense with the sword symbolism, because swords are often symbolic of truth. And also cutting whatever tie that you have. I just feel like there's a lot of people, places, things, maybe even kind of ways of perceiving things that you've kind of attached to who you are as a person. Because I'm hearing I'll always be this way. But the thing is about like being human, we're in like a constant state of change, right? So yeah, I feel as though whatever guide you're working with or is trying to work with you is kind of asking you to try not to fear change. And that you do have the choice. Okay, I'm going to get one more card. Thank you. Yeah, I feel as though this is you feeling more aligned. Possibly doing chakra work. Yeah, because I feel as though I'm kind of looking at the colours of the spread, and there's a lot of red, yellow, orange, and then kind of a little bit of dark blue, but there's not like a full kind of colour spectrum as there is like with all the chakras. And I feel as though that's kind of you there's like a little bit of a sense of stubbornness that I'm getting, of like not wanting to move on. Because as I said earlier, like something about you being the way that you are and you can't change that. And I think maybe you're only kind of perceiving certain ways of being, but I think your guide is kind of asking you to see like the full spectrum. Yeah, and then something about me, the word fluidity, which again relates to the waterfall imagery that I got. Something about like going with the flow rather than kind of digging your heels in and being resistant to change. Because I feel like if you are kind of able to embrace this change and embrace the fact that you are like an ever-changing being, I think it's going to really open up things for you in terms of like new experiences, new emotions, new connections. Okay, I'm going to get you guys an affirmation card. Feel free to use the affirmation or not, it's completely up to you. That's too many. Can we get an affirmation for pile 2, please? Thank you. So the answers will come clearly as you pause and relax, kissed by the eternal sun. So the eternal sun feels quite striking to me because we've got like these kind of fiery colours in the centre. And with that, I feel like there is a warmth of life that you're missing out on by staying in the same place. Okay. So last but not least, I'm going to get a Moonology card. So can we get a Moonology card for pile 2, please? Feeling this one that's kind of sticking out. The end of a tough cycle approaches, full moon in Capricorn. So I do feel as though like Capricorn energy is pretty kind of dedicated to getting a job done through like kind of consistent hard work. So in that respect, I feel like the consistency is kind of coming from like this routine that you've established with whatever situation that you have felt comfortable in. And then on the bottom we do have new moon in Libra. So we did recently just have the full moon in Libra. Libra energy is all about kind of balance and relationships. So I feel like maybe you could be leaving some sort of relationship and possibly entering into singlehood, or possibly if it's like a friendship, you know, kind of leaving that and spending more alone time to kind of reflect. And it is interesting as well because Libra can also be about equilibrium, you know, things being the same. So I feel like there is kind of like a subversion of that, or at least it's being asked of you at this time. Alright, pile 2, thank you for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye. Hi, pile 3. So you guys chose clear quartz. Clear quartz is a pretty kind of versatile stone, but the reason that I picked it in this instance is because it's really good for kind of clarity of mind, which makes for like a really good crystal for learning, studying, keeping focus. And the reason that I chose it is because card 3 is the wisdom guide, which is all about learning, studying, kind of retaining information, that kind of thing. So let's get into the reading. Okay. That's really interesting because this card did come out for the first pile. So if you were kind of feeling drawn to the first pile, maybe watch that as well. So for the mother card to come out with the wisdom guide. I feel like there is an older woman around you that has a lot of words of wisdom. So this isn't necessarily even like a spiritual guide. This is possibly somebody that is still with you. Either that, or there is like a spiritual guide, possibly even like an ancestor. I'm kind of getting like grandmother kind of energy. But I feel like they have messages of self-care, or there is an emphasis on the way that you are treating yourself that kind of needs to be addressed. Oh, I'll take this one. So you have the 3 of Earth. So you have a 4 and a 3. I feel like something's recently happened that's made you feel like you need to start taking care of yourself more. Through like kind of little habits that you do every day. Like kind of sowing the seeds for success in the long run. But yeah, so far there is like a very kind of caring, earthy sort of vibe to this read. So this person may be like an earth sign, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. Sorry, took me a moment. Oh, there's just an emphasis on Gaia, the earth goddess. Spending more time in nature, gardening, getting grounded, really connected with the earth. Okay, so what else for pile 3? Thank you. So we have the Heaven and Earth card. So yeah, definitely something about the earth and being grounded. But I think with this Heaven Earth card, I think this is your communication with this guide. Like I feel it's some sort of like earth deity. Or some sort of motherly, feminine figure that I was speaking about earlier. I am also getting as well, this may be specifically for certain people, so as I always say, take whatever resonates and leave the rest. But I feel like with this learning and studying kind of element with this wisdom guide, that maybe some of you are studying to become a midwife, or specializing in kind of looking after children. Okay, Let's keep going. See what else pops out. We have another Earth card. And the Eight of Earth is all about routine. And I was saying that earlier about like daily habits. So I feel like maybe you are studying every day, learning every day. Or that whoever this guide is like trying to continually communicate with you, like sending you signs. We do have these keys here, which are often symbolic of unlocking doors, knowledge. So far an overall kind of theme of habits, routine, and then knowledge, learning. And again, another Earth card. With this card, I'm kind of getting that you are cheating yourself out of something. Possibly through like self-sabotage. So perhaps there is some sort of like habit that's not necessarily the best for you, but it's kind of become like a crutch, is what I'm hearing. Or kind of something that you fall back on when you're feeling down or numb, not connected with reality. But I think this guide or these guides are asking you to kind of perhaps replace this habit with focusing on learning, whether you are kind of studying something or not, you know, kind of keeping your mind active. Because I feel like once you sow these seeds of potential, there's like this huge, great big tree. So making the most of your everyday and the most of the potential that you have. So can we get one last card, please? Perhaps some sort of advice or words of encouragement. Pile 3. Thank you. I'm feeling like an air of discipline, like a mind over matter sort of thing. Because there's like a resilience to this being because he's kind of on fire, but he is unaffected because he's so kind of aligned and in tune with himself, in tune with the earth. And I feel like the whole kind of practice of meditation does require like a mental discipline. It's often something that is like it kind of has to be a continual habit in order for you to get better at it. But yeah, overall there is definitely a theme of being grounded and connected to the earth. So I feel like if you can kind of incorporate that, whether it is through meditation or going for a walk or communicating with this kind of earth guide that seems to want to communicate with you, I feel like that would be good. So I'm going to get you an affirmation card. Feel free to use the affirmation or not. So we have: let go of the need to prove yourself, surrender to gentleness. And I feel like that gentleness comes from whatever this mother energy is, of kind of gently parenting yourself to be a bit more disciplined and kind of make the most of your everyday. And then we have: nothing will come of this situation. So I feel like with the self-sabotage that I was kind of getting, that maybe there is like a worry of failure, or that you won't succeed, or that you've put all this effort into something and it doesn't materialize the way that you want it to. And so I feel like this nothing will come of this situation means that essentially there is no need to worry, and that as long as you kind of continually apply yourself, you will see results. Alright, pile 3, thank you for watching, and I will see you very soon.